Holly and me, we've been married 28 amazing, incredible years. Because of perseverance, I'm going to tell you, there was hard times and things. We just persevered to have a great marriage with one another, to be madly in love every day. But you know how you find out, like, things about each other, like annoying things, each one, right, you know what I'm saying? And you just have fun with it. Like my wife, my cough annoys her to no end. Or my sneeze, either one. Last night, I walked in the room, she was watching the show, and I sneezed. And she goes, oh, no, we're not doing that tonight. Doing what? Like breathing? I don't know what to do. Why do I not do that? Like, right? So we have things, and me and Holly are like my parents. We're different in a lot of ways, right? She's very neat and tidy. I'm very not whatever that is, right? We're very, right? And I grew up in very poverty, well below the poverty line. Like, we didn't have, like, I love when my kids are like, there's nothing to eat in this house. I'm like, you know what's nothing to eat is when I opened up the fridge in my day, come on, some people know what I'm talking about, and there was moldy cheese and an old tortilla that is hard as a plate in there. And that's all that was in the refrigerator. And what you do, you guys know what you do? You get rid of the mold, right? Because there's good cheese under the mold. There's a sermon in there somewhere. And then you take the tortilla and you take a wet napkin or toilet paper and you put it in the microwave. It gets nice and soft for about 12 seconds. And then it becomes something that even God's like, I don't know what that is. So because of how I was raised, there's something in me that I hate running out of stuff, like food. We should never run out of certain things, foods. And like, it drives me nuts, right? And I get, and I don't know what the clinical term for it is. My wife calls it stupidity. I don't know what it is, but I get really, like, if we run out of something, I get weird. Like, we ran out of, so one morning I got up and I wanted to have a bowl of Captain Crunch, which I like to have in the morning. I like to have my cereal, and we're out of cereal. So you know what I do? I do what any rational human being would do. I drive down to Walmart and I bought 19 boxes of cereal. No, that's what I do. Because I'm like, I'm just not going to run out of cereal. I bought all the cereal they had in the brands that I liked. I got all of it. Nobody got that cereal that day. And then I tell myself, I'm like, because I'm the man. If I want to have 19 boxes of cereal, I'll have 19 boxes of cereal. Don't tell me what I'm going to do as a grown-a man. That's what I do. Right? And then I went home and I put one box of cereal in the pantry and I hid 18 in the garage. Because I'm the man. But every time we ran out of cereal, I just go out in the garage and get another box. I never ran out of cereal. It was a perfect plan, right? And this drives Holly absolutely nuts because she hates, like, she buys just a little ketchup. I'll buy the big one. And then she gets so annoyed at me when I do that. And sometimes I do it just to joke with her. Like, she sent me to the store. I didn't tell this in the last service. I'll tell it for you guys because I love this service. So she sent me to the store to get vanilla pudding, like the pudding for a thing. And this had to be a gift from God, because when I went down there, I've never seen it before. There was a box of pudding. Now, I'm not lying to you. It was the size of a television. It was like served 100. It was like $19. It was the best $19 I ever spent in my life. No, when I came in, and I just act like there's nothing different. I just walked in, I go, oh, there's your pudding, and then I just walk away. And I hear her go, what in the world is this? I got your pudding, baby. What you want? So Holly puts on a roast, right? And I'm going to have roast. I get excited. So now I go to get potatoes. We're out of potatoes. You can't eat roast without potatoes. How do you even run out of potatoes? Potatoes never go bad. Like, with potatoes, and they sit in the pantry, they actually just grow more potatoes. They're the perfect thing to have in the pantry. You have an endless supply of potatoes. So I got upset. So I went down to the Walmart, and I grabbed the 3 potatoes for the roast, and then I grabbed 2 massive bags of potatoes. And I took those home, because I'm the man. I got it home, and then I hid the potatoes in the pantry. So we got 2 bags of potatoes in the pantry. And the very next day, that's why I use potatoes, because it has a P. So the very next day, me and Jason went to a pastor's conference in Seattle. So it was about 5:30 in the afternoon. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from Holly, and I answer. And she didn't say, how are you doing? Love you, miss you. Hope everything's great. Hope you're learning some cool tricks and stuff. First thing she says is, where did we get 2 bags of potatoes? Who bought 2 bags of potatoes? And Savvy was a kindergartner at the time. I said, well, check with Savvy. Maybe she wrote down to the store. I don't know where the potatoes. Right? She goes, no, stop it. Who would buy 2 bags of potatoes? And then all of a sudden, I believe heaven gave this to me, because I don't think I could even come up with this. All of a sudden, I go, oh, my gosh, I forgot to tell you. I picked Savvy up from school yesterday, and the teacher came out to the car and said, hey, can you bring 2 bags of potatoes on Friday to the kindergarten class? And I go, of course. And she goes, we have to bring potatoes? For what? I go, I don't know. The teacher wants to bring 2 bags of potatoes to the class. And Jason was sitting there, and he was laughing. And I don't know why. I just go, because Logan and Savvy were in the same kindergarten class. So I go, oh, my gosh. And I don't even think I told Jason, but Kelly's supposed to bring 2 bags of potatoes, too. And Holly's like, are you kidding me? 2 bags of potatoes. I go, I know. I don't know why. So we get off the phone. Not 7 seconds later, Jason's phone rings. And you hear Kelly go, potatoes? Why? And Jason, who might be as good or better than I am, he goes, I know, honey, 2 bags of potatoes. He's like, I'm so sorry, I forgot to tell you. She's like, what are they for? And this is classic. He goes, you know that electrical experiment that they do with potatoes? And they said all the other kids are bringing wires and stuff. The Andersons are in charge of bringing the potatoes. So they get off the phone, right? And at least I had bought the 2 bags of potatoes for my wife. Kelly had 4 young kids. She had to take to the store that night to get 2 bags of potatoes in the morning when you're dropping your kid off for kindergarten. It's a mess anyway. They had to park their car, had to haul the kids and 2 bags of potatoes each all the way through the campus, which was all the way in the portables, over to a room, knock on the door. It's hard for me not to laugh because I picture it in my mind. Because I picture the teacher opening the door, and you have to see it from the teacher's perspective. They see a mom with a kindergartner with 2 bags of potatoes. And the teacher looks and goes, good morning. My wife goes, hey, good morning. And she's like, can I help you? And my wife goes, yeah, where do you want me to put the potatoes? And the teacher goes, I don't want potatoes. My wife goes, then why'd you ask for them? And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, you told my husband 2 days ago to bring 2 bags of potatoes for some experiment that you're doing with all the kids. And the teacher's like, I honestly don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. So then my wife had to haul the 2 bags of potatoes back out to the car. Number 6 is punishment. No, I'm just teasing. There were consequences in my life, but I believe it was worth it. Because to get my wife to haul 2 bags of potatoes to a kindergarten classroom is pure comedy. She does love me.